Just make sure it works. Oh, what a great day. Thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to be here with you today. By the end of this presentation, you will have met our team, understand the problem we are solving, see where we have been, and come with us where we are going. My name is Chris Casson, and this is the beginning of the quantum computing gold rush. At 0 Point Cryogenics, we're building the shovel. Moore's law has come to an end. Quantum computing is the next step in the evolution of computers and technology, and will likely change the perception of what we currently believe is possible. These are some of the countries and companies investing over $28 billion in quantum. The majority of quantum computing architectures require a dilution refrigerator in order to operate. Currently, there are two primary suppliers of dilution refrigerators in the world, and they are located in England and Finland. In the coming years, dilution refrigerators will be added to the Wassenaar Agreement. The Wassenaar Agreement manages export controls for dual-use goods and technologies, thus creating further markets to barrier and the need for a North American supplier of dilution refrigerators. We build reliable, purpose-built dilution refrigerators for quantum computing, academia, and government. Our systems can be operated with the push of a button, fit through a standard man door, and commissioned in under 48 hours, allowing our customers to focus on quantum technologies and not on running fridges. Our systems are operated using a scalable and secure program logic controller. So whether you're running 100 dilution refrigerators or just one, we provide real-time and historical data, both on the unit-mounted touchscreen and in the palm of your hand. We have built out an incredible team. Heading our technical side is world-renowned low-temperature and quantum physicist Dr. John Davis. He is supported by Dr. Paul Kim, who graduated from the Davis Lab and is an expert in nanofabrication. Elise comes to us with deep expertise in commercialization, sales, and marketing, and helped another deep tech company commercialize their technology from the early stages all the way through their Series A. She is the perfect person to lead the commercialization of our technology. The world market for quantum computing is currently $486 million a year, growing at over 30%, and is estimated to hit $3.18 billion by 2028. There are currently 4 primary providers of dilution refrigerators in the world. Only 2 of those are commercial. Our largest direct competitor by market size did $410 million US in revenue in 2021 and is positioned for extensive growth in the coming years. 0 Point Cryogenics checks all the boxes for what will be required as we move dilution refrigerators into commercial quantum computing. We have raised over $1.9 million in non-dilutive capital. We have over $1 million in secured contracts with another $1.6 million of contracts in the pipeline. We have a strategic partner who by 2026 will likely be one of the largest purchasers of dilution refrigerators in the world. We have a lead investor that has already invested over $110,000, and we are looking to complete our $500,000 pre-seed round. We're looking for strategic investors and financiers that want to be on the leading edge of a technology that is going to change the world. We have gross margins between 40 and 50%. In order to break even, we need to sell 4 units per year, and we'll be profitable in the next 12 months. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Chris. I love it. It was an elevator pitch. It was really concise. Thank you so much.
Short and sweet.
I'm just going to start off with one question, which is, you say you secured $1.15 million in secured contracts. So
yes.
Can you talk at all about those partnerships?
Okay. So one is Michigan State University. The other is the National Research Council of Canada. We are now in discussions with the DRDC to build a $1.1 million fridge for them. And companies just reach out to us. On Friday, the head of strategy for quantum computing at Microsoft literally sent us a message to info@zpcryo, just saying, hey, we would really love to have a conversation with you guys and see what you guys can do for us. And the reason being, there's so few companies building dilution refrigerators. The 2 commercial leaders literally told Microsoft that they weren't interested in building custom systems for them because they're too busy just turning out very cookie cutter systems. So in our meeting with Microsoft yesterday, they literally just said, we don't have someone to partner with that can build custom solutions for us.
Fabulous. That's a great reason to invest with this inside information. Does anybody else have any questions from the group? Yes, Michael?
So I'm just curious actually on the technical side. So there's 2 commercial companies that are doing this.
Yes.
One that's not commercial yet. I mean, obviously it's very cold, but what technically is the impediment here? And so let's say that you do get off and running, what's stopping that other North American competitor?
I don't think anything's stopping them. They're going to do very well. And anyone that is in this field will do well. It is more that there is way more demand than there is supply. And so I truly believe that both us and Form Factor will be successful in North America.
Sorry,
Form Factor is the other company in North America that does not have a commercial product yet.
Any other questions? Michael?
I'm just wondering about scalability of production. What's a rate limiting thing in terms of, is it helium? Is it nanofabrication?
So we don't use a ton of helium, and they're cryogen free. So it's an internal loop. So we use 2 isotopes of helium. We use helium-3 and helium-4, and it's in an internal loop, so it's never used up in the reaction. Our biggest limiting factor will be this is highly specialized, and we need to train people. So we spend a lot of time with Nate and everyone at Nate, ensuring that we're getting the best and brightest out of the technical schools in Alberta. And then supply chain is very tough. So we use a lot of the same parts as the semiconductor industry. In the United States, they want to become more independent in semiconductors, so they're starting to build these semiconductor plants, and that would be another limiting factor.
And your IP strategy, how are you locking your segment?
So we've removed the technology from the university already. We have hired a law firm to focus on our IP strategy. The core technology of dilution refrigerators has been in existence since the 1960s. So there is no intellectual property you can create around the core technology. It would all be around subsidiary technologies. However, there's only a handful of people in the world that have the knowledge to build a dilution refrigerator. And if you were to draw a diagram and cross-reference that with the entrepreneurial spirit in the handful of people that know how to build a dilution refrigerator, it's a very small number. So it all comes down to trade secrets. Like, it's just the processes in the sintering and in the step heat exchangers and the continuous heat exchangers is just very secretive. It's like Coke. Coke doesn't have a patent on Coke, but no one's been able to replicate it.
There's one more question there.
Yeah, I had a question about how the cooling of the system might relate to cryptocurrency mining, whether or not there's
Okay.
a crossover with that.
Okay, so this is a great question. So when you're measuring cooling in cryptocurrency, you're dealing in megawatts. So cooling of a data center or cooling of cryptocurrencies is over here for cooling power. For cooling power, we're way over here. So we measure cooling power in microwatts, or 10 to the minus 6. So if you were throwing a party and you had to cool 500 beers, we are not the company to call. If you had to cool 1 beer and you wanted to take 2 days to cool it down and get it really, really cold, we're the company to call. So that's kind of the difference. So fundamentally, with quantum computing, quantum computers don't actually generate heat. That's not the fundamental issue here. The fundamental issue is that a single particle has so much energy that we're trying to remove that energy so we can focus a single particle. And that's the fundamental difference. We're getting things cold, so we remove their energy. And that's actually why we're called zero-point cryogenics, because when you remove all the energy from a particle, that state is called its zero-point energy. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Michael?
Can I ask about
Yes?
Just, you mentioned helium, obviously you're going to be using helium in here, so given that that's a non-renewable resource, how sensitive are your models, forecasts to the price of helium?
I'm very So helium-4 is not our concern. We are not a helium-intensive business for helium-4. What is more of our concern is the other isotope of helium called helium-3. Helium-3 is not naturally occurring on Earth. So you guys say, well, how do you get helium-3? Okay, so traditionally, when nuclear warheads decay, they create a byproduct called tritium. And you have to scrape the tritium off the uranium. And then that tritium is still nuclear reactive. So then you have to contain this tritium. So as tritium decomposes, it actually off-gases helium-3 as a byproduct. And so the US military captures that helium-3, and so does Russia, but they're kind of off the table right now. And so as they capture that helium-3, we buy it from the US military, from the Department of Defense. More exciting, there is now a company in Canada that's been able to master that process and produce very substantial amounts of helium-3. We are very close to negotiating a relationship with them where we will become a reseller of helium-3 to the world markets that is non-military. And that's extremely exciting. So there are very few sources of helium-3 in the world. They would be Russia, I believe potentially France, the United States, and now Canada. So we are very well positioned to access very large amounts of helium-3.
Have you included that in your revenue model here, or is that separate?
No,
Okay, great,
no.
wonderful. One more question, if there is one in the room. Yes, Kim?
So seems like a very niche market,
It is.
obviously, because you just sell for the year. So, but you still have the revenue going, so you have to obviously make more every year. You think that growth is sustainable at the prices you want to sell, or the prices will decrease once people want more of them?
That's a very interesting question. I don't believe that prices will decrease as more companies enter the market and new technologies are developed. This is it's quite early staged. Our largest competitor probably builds 200 of these a year, and they're, in dilution refrigerators alone, they're probably selling, $150 million worth of dilution refrigerators a year. Prices will go down. The market will support it. There's going to be quantum communications. There's going to be entire data centers that are quantum-based. There's a ton of military applications for quantum computers, and that's what's driving the market right now. Is
You become more of a sales team internationally, and you have that
yes,
thing for sales.
yes.
Well, good. Any more questions, please feel free to take them offline at the reception. And thank you so much, Chris. Congratulations, and
Thank you.
look forward to hearing more.
Thank you all for your time.